I believe the most beneficial practice you can undertake as a teacher is your continual education. My teaching philosophy has been highly influenced by Rudolf Steiner, and particularly the value he places on self-development. There is an awareness amongst Steiner educators regarding the importance of self-education and self-development. I believe one of the most beneficial things you can do for your students is making the conscious effort to continually be enriching your life in new knowledge, education, and learning. My teaching approach is child-centered, as I recognize that every child is unique and has their own learning style and pace. This approach benefits the children and students in the class as it values everybody's voice and choices. I believe students learn best in an environment that is inclusive and reflects every child's culture, community, family, and funds of knowledge. When a child feels a sense of belonging and value, their learning can flourish. AITSL Standard 1.4 highlights to me the importance of having intentional and beneficial teaching strategies that address everybody's culturally diverse needs. It isn't good enough to have one approach fits all. With your teaching strategies, they need to be flexible and responsive to your demographic of students. AITSL Standard 2.4 highlights the importance of respecting Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people to foster reconciliation in the Australian education system. Standard 2.4 highlights to me that there needs to be an awareness of the challenges faced by Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students, and to provide a culturally responsive teaching approach to support their educational success. How will I become a culturally responsive teacher? EDN353 has taught me that in order to be a culturally responsive teacher, I firstly need to unpack my own bias. The AITSL document Indigenous Cultural Competency in the Australian Teaching Workforce explains how unconscious bias can influence the way we treat culturally diverse people. It is critical that I acknowledge the impact that colonisation has had on Aboriginal people and how this will affect my students and students to come. EDN353 has emphasised time and time again that in order to be a successful teacher, you have to continue to educate yourself on history and becoming culturally competent. Learning more about Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander history and culture can only benefit your students. By expanding my knowledge and awareness, I can create a classroom that is inclusive and celebrates and integrates Aboriginal culture. By learning more about Aboriginal history, culture, and specific needs, I can develop strategies and approaches that better support my Aboriginal students' learning and needs. This sort of understanding helps bridge the education gap. This unit has also taught me that it is so beneficial to be held accountable and hold others accountable even when it is uncomfortable. As a teacher, I will be culturally responsible by seeking feedback from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students, families, and community members in order to better my strategies and teaching approaches for the benefit of all the students. By doing this, it always also gives me the opportunity to engage in critical discussions to ensure that I'm appropriately embedding responsive practices. These discussions also opens opportunities for building strong relationships with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander families and community members who can help enhance my teaching practices. Thank you for listening to my blog.